Welcome to 3TV and the Purple Veranda. Today we have a very special guest. So we have Yunus Lasania, journalist, also oral historian, and famously known as that Hyderabadi boy on Insta. So hi Yunus.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So today we are going to discuss about Yunus' passion for Hyderabad history. So మీరందరూ రెడీగా ఉన్నారా? Let's go. సో యూనస్ అసలు ఈ వాక్ స్టార్ట్ చేయాలని ఇలా వెళ్ళాలని ఆలోచన ఎందుకు వచ్చింది?
Yeah, basically, first of all, even I did not know anything about Hyderabad for a very long time. I think 2016 or 16 when I was working for the Hindu, I started writing about heritage history regularly. As I was writing, I realized that my knowledge also is very limited. So then I started reading. I started going to old libraries, researching. Ante atla it's not anything great. I just did anything. I just did whatever any other person who is interested in history would have done. Just did some little bit more digging. Ante not something spectacular or anything like that. I just started reading more. I got a little obsessed with Hyderabad. I think that is the right word in finding out new things. And because for me it was a discovery. Like my city is so great and atla. So then I started reading, I kept writing. I kept writing continuously for a whole year, I think. Then I started this page called the Hyderabad History Project. So then I think 2017 March, this page, I think right now they are called India Heritage Walks, but that time they were called Sahapedia. So Sahapedia guys asked, will you be like, someone recommended me, I think, and then someone asked me if I can do a walk for them. I said, okay, cool, I'll do this, but I had no idea what that was at that point of time. I did a walk. It was fine. It went good. I liked it. So then I only pitched a couple of things to them. I think the second one I did was a church walk in Secunderabad. So then वहाँ से it started, and then after that, then I kept doing walks for them for a while. This place also we did walks in Patan Chowri Darwaza also. So Sahapedia normally used to have this feedback form after the walks, where you have to get everyone to sign a feedback form. So because I think mine were consistently over 9, they were like, okay, fine. Then after a point, they stopped asking the feedback forms. We were like, okay, fine, you can do whatever you want. Then I think 2018, I was still doing walks for them, but then I thought, how. So, if you're doing something for an organization, there's a process. You have to like send a proposal, this, that. So I mean, I'm just a very lazy person sometimes. So like, Abba, ये कौन करता है बोल के. Yeah, so like, Abba, who will do all this बोल के. I just put up a story once asking my friends only, saying, if I will do this, will you all come for? I just very
So
normally.
where is this? Instagram
only. I don't operate anywhere else. I mean, for this. So people responded saying, the people came for the walks. So then after that, I was like, okay, then I don't necessarily need anybody else. Also, the whole point of doing the walks was to help people from Hyderabad learn about their city. I'm not saying tourists are not welcome or anything, nothing like that. But for me, the primary aim always was to if you're from Hyderabad, I think you should at least know the basics. So that, it's our own city. Like if we don't do something about it, then who else will? That's also one of the reasons why Hyderabad's heritage is so bad, because it's only a very small, limited number of people, mostly activists who care, who make a noise. But I think there has to be a larger participation. True. I think without that, it's like any other thing. People should be a little bit more. And I think now, thanks to social media, I'm not taking the credit for this myself, but there are others also. But we do whatever we do. And I think to some extent, I think people have now slightly, at least to some extent, started to understand what Hyderabad has and this and that. So it's today incidentally also happens to be the day, September 28 and 29th are the days when Hyderabad was flooded in 1908.
Right.
Today was the worst affected time. So incidentally, we are doing it on this date. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I think for me, it was just mostly about creating awareness for people. That's it.
Why do you just said that you're obsessed with Hyderabad history, right? Enduku anta obsession? Why do you love Hyderabad so much?
First of all, it is my city. Second, it's a great city. Like historically, if you look at Hyderabad, it's a city that was built I mean, I think this is the defining aspect of Hyderabad, right? It cannot belong to anybody. It was built by a man whose grandfather was an Iranian refugee, whose mother was a Telugu woman, whose father was a Telugu patron. Muhammad Quli Qutub Shah's father, Ibrahim Qutub Shah, was a patron of Telugu. He himself wrote in Dakni, and he built Hyderabad, and he built a great city. So for me, these things are pretty fascinating. If you, I mean, no hate or anything, but if you ask me to choose between the founders of Hyderabad and the Nizams who come later, I'll always be with the founders only, because they were a lot more, I would say, culturally vibrant. Not that the Nizams were bad or anything, but I think for me the Qutub Shahis were a lot more. I mean, you can see the tombs right there, what they built. So for me, Qutub Shahis were something of a, you can say, very intriguing characters that I found. The Nizams were okay, like Nizams were typical Indian princely state rulers under the British. So, I mean, I'm not saying they were bad. I have no the last. I mean, some of them did some good things also. It's not necessarily that they were bad, but I think one of the reasons I also did what I did was because I thought that people should know about the city's founders, because in public memory it's always a Nizam,
Right.
Nizam, like. People forget that the Nizams actually had nothing to do with the foundations of Hyderabad, right? So for me, that was a bit of a. So when you learn about that, it hits your head. Then you start questioning, why don't people know about the city's founders? Why do people know about the Nizams? So I think that is the thing also for me.
It is quite a delight to see your passion for this city. But కళలు వస్తుంటాయా? కళలు అంటే తెలుసా?
Kalalante?
డ్రీమ్స్.
Dreams. అంటే డ్రీమ్స్ అంటే హౌ?
హైదరాబాద్ గురించి ఏమైనా డ్రీమ్స్ వస్తాయా? వాళ్ళందరూ వస్తారా క్యారెక్టర్స్ అందరూ కళల్లో?
Not. I don't dream much, sadly. No, but I do. I mean, most of the time when I'm daydreaming, it's about what I can do for Hyderabad only.
ఓకే.
So I think that's also the reason why I've not left Hyderabad, by the way. So otherwise, normally I think the trajectory, anybody who.
సేమ్ విత్ మీ, ఐ లవ్ హైదరాబాద్.
I mean, I think either people who have the talent, if they don't leave Hyderabad, it means they love Hyderabad. I think I think this is one of the reasons I also didn't want to leave, is because I realized that everybody from Hyderabad who has talent and knowledge, they pretty much leave because they feel like there's nothing here. And I think that's not true. So I think I thought, okay, we'll see what we can do here.
So, if you look at the city now, like, this side of this, like, the city is growing. People are so happy about the development. What is your comment on this?
I mean, I have no problem with new buildings or the new part. Like, see, let's accept it. Even Hyderabad, when it was built, was an extension of Golconda Fort only, right? So it's not like new buildings should not come. And also the population is growing. Like, people need space, yeah. Like, at the end of the day, see, I mean, of course, initially when I was also starting all of this, I was not like, "Arey, why did they break this? What is this?" But then I realized that, okay, human life comes first always. But it's just that I think there has to be a balance of maintaining that. I mean, what you call that development, maintaining that development versus having some semblance
Restoring
of
heritage?
Not just restoring, like saving what is already there. Like, if it comes to restoring heritage, and if it comes to like fighting for something, means it's already gone. So I think the reason why I also do walks is so that at least there is some level of sensitivity among at least a small section of which I think to a certain extent, I think maybe we have done that already. I see a lot of people who come to the walks who will, for example, in Abbots they come, they'll be like, "Oh, I grew up here, I never knew this." So it's not anything great, but maybe down the line that student would have become a researcher, and maybe they'll come back to do something about their own city. I don't know. I'm thinking.
It's also about connecting with your own roots, with the place that you are living in.
It's about having a sense of belonging for me. Because that's what I have. And I think our dear friend Ayla, for example, also, she also, I think, just one example as a friend who comes, I think for her also it was very helpful to learn about the city, and that's why I think you won't become like this. For example, if you end up going abroad, you won't become like this weird NRI who does not want to come back home because they think it's really bad. You'll actually end up, that memory of having biryani in some hotel with your friends basically is what will remain, right, at the end of the day. Like, a lot of people I know, Hyderabadis can never dislike Hyderabad. There are very few of them, who will say, "Abba, I don't like my hometown Hyderabad," or whatever. But I think for most part, it's a great city. I don't think it's a bad city in any way.
కల్చర్ వైజ్ ఆల్సో అంటే చాలా అంటే
I think that is one aspect I think where we can still grow. Like it's not culture. It's not like I think in terms of opportunities, Hyderabad is maybe not as big as say Bombay or Delhi. I think that's the only thing. Like it's like either you live in those cities and live a very fast life, or you live in Hyderabad with a slightly slower life. Life basically moves at its own pace here. There's no hurriedness of Bombay. Uh, and I don't know. I think it's a fair, decent mix of everything.
Yeah, when I say culture, what I mean, Yunus, is see, చాలా మందికి రూట్స్ ఇక్కడే ఉన్నాయి. ఇఫ్ యూ సీ సింధీ కాలనీ వెళ్తాం మనం, దే హ్యావ్ బీన్ దేర్ ఫర్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ అ సెంచరీ నౌ.
So Sindhi colony was started for Sindhi migrants from Pakistan.
Right.
So nearly about 70 something years.
Yeah, 70. Then we have Muslim population, we have Hindu population, we have
Sikhs, Parsis,
Sikhs, and then
Christians also.
Inkokati, we even have Sudanese people over
So
here.
these are like
colony
later
only.
migrants from Sudan and from or kahan se aa rahe, I think Ethiopia.
See, so ఇంతమంది ఉన్నారు కదా. So this itself is an interesting history, and we see those people talking Telugu very comfortably.
Really?
Yeah. So అలాంటివి చూసినప్పుడు చాలా ఎక్సైటింగ్ గా ఉంటుంది. అంటే ఇంత
I mean, I would
కాంట్రాస్ట్
say
కల్చర్స్ అన్ని కలవటం.
Hyderabad is a little less racist. Like if you look at the see, I'm not saying Hyderabad is the best city in the world. Obviously, it cannot be. But I'm just saying that like if you look at say other cities like Delhi, Bombay, or even Bangalore, you'll hear of these racist incidents happening all the time against black people or against say people from the northeast. Yahan par I think it's very minimal. I don't think people here have that many issues in general about like this quote unquote outsiders, because I think we don't have that what do you call, we don't have that regionalistic chauvinism here, like how you have say in other cities like maybe say Bombay, where you have this whole Marathi Manus. Don't kill me for that, please. So, or even in Karnataka also have this whole state like Kannadiga, like this whole state pride thing, right? Which again, I'm not opposed to it, by the way. I'm just saying that it can't come at the cost of somebody else's discomfort. And I think city like Hyderabad is made up of people from outside, like people. I mean, like it's like if you have these North Indian communities that came with the Nizams of Hyderabad, right? Kayasts from UP, right? I mean, how is it that if these guys came maybe over a century ago, right? So now they become Hyderabadis. Same thing applies to anybody else also who comes and lives from anywhere else. So my point is, Hyderabad is basically a city that is made up of literally anybody and everyone who wants to come. You can't ever say that no one does not belong here. Like I think that's the best thing.
Very inclusive, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about Hyderabad, right? People here might be a little bit, I guess you can say a little bit slow, lazier when it comes to certain things. That's just fine. I have no problem with that. I think for a lot of people, there's a culture shock also when they come to Hyderabad and see, why are the shops opening at 10 o'clock here? So I think it's okay.
అదర్వైజ్ ఇప్పుడు ఈ వాక్ వచ్చే వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు కదా, ఎవరిలోన ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ చూసారా మీరు?
I think there is some transformation in the sense that people learn a lot, so that helps them go and do something else. Maybe like for example, somebody like I know one boy who came to my walks, then he really went ahead and did a project on Moosi River or something like that. So I think it helps a lot of people get perspective. And people who don't necessarily know anything, I mean, I'm not saying out of ignorance, I'm saying maybe people who are not, maybe someone did not have the avenue to learn. Like I didn't know for a long time as a child what is where, right? And I think the problem starts from the childhood where maybe for example in my case my parents did not know anything, so they also didn't teach me anything. I later learned about Hyderabad in life. That's where I also learned. So I think I wanted to bridge that gap where if I can help somebody learn something that, I mean, if you can call it transformation or you can call it anything you want, but yeah, I have seen people change their perspective about the city. I've seen people who come up to me and say, thank you so much for the walks, I really did not know that this existed. Now I really like this. So like I have seen people go from one end to another in terms of how they see Hyderabad. So I think transformation, sure. Also the walks, I keep my walks a little contemporary. So we also like give comparisons between contemporary politics historically and like historically also, and now like I'll say, like it's not like I keep reminding people that historically also politics was not very different from what it is today, just that it's in a different form, but people are people are the same, like They may have had the same motives. Hate is not necessarily a new thing. It is a very old thing. It's just a new bottle, if you ask me. So yeah, some sort, yeah, maybe there are transformations. Yes.
So you're talking about politics here. So I need to ask you this question. ఈ వాక్స్ వల్ల ఇప్పుడు ఉన్న కాంటెక్స్ట్ లో ఏవైతే జరుగుతున్నాయో ఒకలాంటి ఫ్యాక్ట్ చెక్ కూడా చాలా ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుంది అనిపిస్తుంది. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనకి వాట్సాప్ ఉంది, ఏదో ఒక ఫార్వర్డ్ వస్తుంది, ఒక స్టోరీ క్రియేట్.
Yeah, I think half of the reason I do this walks also is to kind of have some kind of a online I write, that is definitely more viral. As far as the walks are concerned, yeah, I think having people come and learn directly also makes a very big difference. Ippudaga so far I have not had any bad experience. But I know people who have been assaulted also during walks when somebody did not agree with them and things like that. This is not in Hyderabad, but in outside cities. Like I think Hyderabad that way again is slightly more, I would say, relaxed that way. Even if somebody disagrees, they won't necessarily harm. But in cities like Delhi, I've heard of my friends facing all of this problem where extremely right-wing people who don't necessarily agree with facts get very aggressive. So for me, there is now I've learned how to counter this. So you can't really be logical with people who are delusional.
True.
Right? So you have to either ignore it or you have to try to tell them, boss, look, this is what this is. If you want to look at it from a different perspective, you see, otherwise you don't. Ante.
అంటే నాకు అర్థమైంది ఏంటంటే న్యూట్రల్గా ఉన్న పీపుల్ ఎవరైతే ఉంటారో వాళ్ళతో చాలా మంచి ఛాన్సెస్ ఉంటాయి ఫర్ దెమ్ టు
No, I think the people who are neutral also are a little dangerous, to be honest.
అవునా?
Because they also say, no, we should give the क्या बोलते people जो लोग fake people who push fake news, they'll say no, we should give them also a chance. I think that's more dangerous.
Very dangerous, yeah.
Right? So
Yeah, true.
I don't think people. It's not about people who are neutral. See, a lot of people also grow up learning wrong things. I have my own friends. So there's this whole rumor, for example, it's a very right-wing. This is one of the many WhatsApp forwards that is spread in Hyderabad against this Irani cafe owner, saying that Irani cafe owners put bone powder or whatever. I think I even remember channels also running this, saying that they put bone powder or whatever or something. It's actually not true. Like I know for a fact that one or two cafes would add some Bonvita to add some taste in the chai. Bonvita.
Okay.
And sometimes they add milk powder also to make it sweeter or whatever. Milk powder is not bone powder, no.
Right.
So my own friends were coming, no, I don't want to drink chai. They put this powder, no. I'm like first of all, by the way, putting bone powder is not the worst thing. You'll get stronger. Maybe it might help you in a different way.
అంటే చాలా మంది ఒప్పుకోరు కానీ
but I'm saying it's not true. This is just
వెయిట్ నేను చెప్పేది ఏంటంటే నేను ఆమె బయోకెమ్ స్టూడెంట్. ఓకే, బోన్ పౌడర్ అనేది షుగర్ తయారు చేసేటప్పుడు డెఫినెట్గా వేస్తారు డ్యూరింగ్ మొలాసెస్, లైక్ డ్యూరింగ్ ఆర్ ఆఫ్టర్ మొలాసెస్ ఇట్ హ్యాపెన్స్. yes, so everyone who ever is consuming sugar is also consuming bone powder.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, then good to know then.
Yeah.
So but basically that's what it was like. So I was like, what are you saying, man? Like, this is not one. This is like I've heard it from 2-3 people. So then I realized that there's like a big WhatsApp factory churning out all of these things about Hyderabad. And Hyderabad is the easiest place to also spread fake news. Yeah, like this whole Bhagyanagar thing, right?
I know.
So same thing also. Like first of all, by the way, the legend that is about Hyderabad is that Muhammad Quli, the founder, was in love with this Hindu woman Bhagmati, right? Which is by the way great. Like I
As
don't.
a story,
yeah,
it's
by
great.
the way,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that the right wing wants that story, because that's about a Muslim man marrying a Hindu woman, right? So their whole thing comes from that whole temple outside the Charminar. So I don't have to do anything. We all have photos. There are several people who have photos of that area without the temple, and even the ASI also has this. So manaki em asalu, there's nothing to do there. All you have to do is just ask them, show us. They won't have anything. And I think that's pretty much what it is. And I think that is the see, you just stick to what you have, and if somebody is saying something, you just tell them, okay, just show me what you have. That's pretty like. I mean, the whole temple thing honestly is a little bit of a, like at this point I'm also tired of like listening about the same thing again and again. But then I realized that those things also have to be addressed. I mean, నా దగ్గర ఇప్పుడు iPad లేదు, కానీ in my iPad, I do have that photo of from 19. There's a book published in Hyderabad from the government only in 1944. But it's a photo of the charminar without the temple, like right from that side only. So yeah, so that is one. That is, for example, one kind of thing. Then you have a lot of.
Would you share that photograph?
Yeah, sure, no problem. And then you have a lot of stories about, again, about the city itself, which I don't know how to put this also in words. I remember seeing one, I think one forward on WhatsApp where someone sent a list of, I quote unquote, mosques built, historical mosques built on Hindu temples by the before or after Golconda period. I don't know what it is. Honestly, there was a list of some 100 mosques. And some of which were around here only near the Golconda Fort, which I know for a fact that was like a Khandar area. Nobody was living here earlier, right? So the fact that somebody is spreading this kind of information also is a little concerning. Okay, we are not North India for now, so hopefully it won't become that.
Yeah. So to lighten the mood, I want to ask you one thing. Telugu Radha?
Ostadi, Kani, it's not perfect. So I am a little bit wary of speaking in Telugu.
ఎందుకు అడుగుతున్నానంటే ఈ హిస్టరీ వాక్స్ ఏవైతే జరుగుతాయి ఇవన్నీ ఇంగ్లీష్లో జరుగుతాయి.
So English
మాట్లాడే వాళ్ళందరూ ఎక్కువ elite people, educated people ఉంటారు.
I won't say elite people because my walks are first of all very cheap. Like sometimes I don't even take fees if people say that, you know, like students from government schools and government colleges, if they request saying, sir, can you, first of all, I'll tell them, please come anyway. I'm not going to stop anybody from coming to my walks just because they don't have money. I have let people come to my walks without fee. Only thing I tell them, don't tell this to other people so that nobody else does that. But of course, please others also, please don't do this also, by the way. But basically, the reason there's a fee is because I started my walk at 50 rupees, by the way. Okay, and I realized that there were lesser people coming because people stopped valuing that. So if you pay 50 rupees and you're like, 50 only, bolke, like mentally you're like, just 50 रुपए ना सुबह नहीं उठे तो क्या फर्क पड़ता बोल के. So then I realized that if you do it for free also, people will not come. Like I remember having like this issue with Sahapedia. Sahapedia was free, so sometimes 50% of the people would not turn up just because they were sleepy or had a party or whatever. See, it's fine if you don't come, but there's somebody also doing and getting up at 6 o'clock for all of this and coming, right? So you have to, like, if you tell somebody you're coming for something, I think you should go. So that's when I started charging a proper fee, saying that, you know, please pay this money. It's a very, very small amount, to be honest.
True.
So same thing. So as far as the thing is concerned, I won't say it's elite because I have a lot of, I would say, ordinary people who come. Elite people won't come for a walk for 250 rupees, by the way. They have different preferences. And if somebody does not know English also, I still tell them to come. What I do is, normally after I'm done speaking, I explain it separately to them, so at least that they also don't feel left out. So something like that. I manage. It's not like I won't have. There's a language barrier.
How much do you charge, Yunus?
I charge 250 per person and 200 for students.
Right. And ఒకసారి ఎప్పుడైనా వాళ్ళు రాకపోతే you also, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you pay the fee and if you can't come, you can come for something else in the future. It's not like I'm running away with your money.
I also know that for regular people, you also are a little partial.
I mean, if you've come to all of my works, I'll obviously stop charging after a point.
Yeah, so very nice. So otherwise, why do you think, acha, this adigin question and you also have answered, but still I want to ask you this question, you know. Why do people need to know history?
I think people, first of all, from my perspective, everyone should learn about their cities, whether they like history or not. That's more to do about the fact that it'll give you a sense of belonging. It'll culturally also make you feel a little better. Like, let's say you're walking around your own apartment, in your own apartment or house or whatever, right? You will know the historical significance of something that exists there, instead of just walking by. And, you know, I feel like this thing in India is that once something is destroyed, we all start to cry about it. Arey wo tood gaya, kharab ho gaya, arey kai ko tode bol ke. Like, do something before it goes, right? You can't sit and cry about things after it's gone. Then there's no point. So I feel like that, like, it's to maybe in a way for it to not get to that point is why I also feel like that is one aspect of it. The other thing is learning about history is also important, so that first of all it will give you some perspective on contemporary politics. Like, you will actually be able to put things in perspective. Exactly. A lot of things also have some or the other connection to history. Third, you will also be able to I mean, if you know your history, you will not get fooled very easily by fake news. Like I think that's also very important. Like that's the reason I think, because we make history so boring in school that everybody grows up hating it, and then the next thing you know, you only have fake news coming out saying this king is bad. I mean, of course, there's no doubt that we have evil characters in history, right? But then suddenly saying, "Arey, oh, this king did this," so it makes no sense. Like without context, then that's how friends become enemies.
Right. So, ఇందాక మనం మాట్లాడేటప్పుడు you also spoke about how people in Delhi and other places are attacked. You know?
I won't say that, but I think they face some difficulties.
There are difficulties. Yeah. So, do you have a network of all these, world historians and weekend walkers?
Yeah, I mean, so it's like, when somebody's coming from Delhi, they'll contact me saying that, listen, hey, I also do walks in Delhi, can you help me? So it's like very organically I have made a bunch of friends from different cities like Chennai, Delhi, Bombay, who are all equally passionate about history like me. So we all have a small network. Yes, it's not a formal network, it's just like more like we are all friends now.
Do you meet? Do you have any kind of,
No, we don't have a meetup or anything, but that's not a bad idea actually. But I think we all like, for most parts, we all have mutual respect for each other. So whenever, if we go to each other's city, people are happy to just show us around. I think that's also like how it works. If somebody is coming from somewhere to Hyderabad, I always try to accommodate something like that.
Yeah, I remember Aniruddha. What's his name?
Aniruddha,
yeah, coming over. I remember you going to other countries also to do these kind of heritage walks.
I mean, I have been to heritage walks So
no, you did not do, but you have attended.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I mean, so yeah, of course. Where did I go last? I don't remember now. Last I went
Vietnam,
to.
you've been?
I've been to Vietnam. I've been to Indonesia, and I think I took some kind of a tour in the Jakarta Museum.
ఎక్కడెక్కడ అచ్చా ఓకే ఇలా కాదు ఏ కంట్రీస్కి వెళ్ళారు?
See, I've been to Indonesia, I've been to Malaysia, I've been to Vietnam, I've been to Myanmar. But Myanmar was a child, like it's long ago. I don't remember much. I think that's it.
ఓకే గ్రేట్. ఇందాక చెప్పారు కదా మార్నింగ్ నిద్ర లేచి రావాలంటే అందరికి బద్ధకంగా ఉంటుందని.
అవును.
మార్నింగ్ ఎందుకు?
సో మార్నింగ్ అంటే మార్నింగ్ ట్రాఫిక్ ఉండదు, వెదర్ కూడా కొంచెం మంచిగా ఉంటుంది. Summer, of course, it's very bad, but now it's getting slightly cooler, right? So morning is a good time to explore because there's no disturbance. Also, manaki ibbandi koncham aitadi endukante see, there are a lot of idiots everywhere. I remember once while doing a food walk in the evening, in the old city, one random man is like, "Why are you all here? Why you all came here?" I'm like, "Who the hell are you?" Like, see, as much as I love old city, also there is a problem there. People are there extremely entitled. Mostly the rowdy kind of people. There are
okay, sir, gang of 25 people or something.
No, but people are aware that that's an area where people come as domestic tourists also. So people who are friendly are very friendly, and most people are very accommodating. But you have these people there, and it's not like these kind of people are not there everywhere. This is a very typical Indian, like a very Hyderabadi Indian problem, where you have these locals who just want to annoy other people. So they come, they make fun, this and that. Now once you learn to deal with it, see, the people who love old city will go no matter what. And I think I haven't heard of anybody who's actually had a bad experience, generally speaking. But then I have also seen these things happen. So I think, early morning is better because you can avoid those issues. And normally speaking also, in the morning it is easier to also, for example, sometimes we go to old Irani cafes, right? So it's easy to find place. It's not difficult to gather. It's not difficult to chat without somebody interfering and all those things. So morning, and I mean, of course, unless something like Qutub Shahi tombs, evening is a very beautiful time, so we go there in the evenings. And what was the next question?
That's it. Well, what are the places that you have covered so far in Hyderabad? Because I'm asking you this question because you're missing out on Secunderabad. You've done a lot of walks in Secunderabad.
No, I do Secunderabad also. See, we do walks we do the Charminar Old City walk, we do Secunderabad Church walk. Then there's a Secunderabad second walk that we do from Monna Market to Garden Cafe. Then Patanchor Darwaza, main Golconda Fort, Qutub Shahi tombs, Chowmahalla Palace, British Residency, something called Raymond's Tomb, which I have not gone in a long time, but Raymond's Tomb also is there. Then recently we did a walk for Havelis in Hussaini Alam. So I think 10-15 walks are there. And Nizam's Museum, of course. Salarjung I don't do because Salarjung is too crowded. But if There's also Nampally Dargah walk also. Sometimes I try to do different alternative walks also. So I try to do different things as much as possible.
Okay, great. So, quite a journey, Yunus. What do you think you have gained so far? Because you know, whatever money that you earn out of these walks is very, very small, right? And you've been doing.
I think
it
I've
for-
gained friends.
Yeah.
That's pretty. And I think I've gained like I now know that there are people in Hyderabad who like learning about history. And many of them are friends now. So I think, such as yourself. So I think, I think I think in a way, slight to a certain extent, mission accomplished in terms of what I want. Because I'm not a content creator. Like, see, okay, it's not unfortunate also. I think people on Instagram, I've seen people whose sole aim in life has to become a content creator for views. Maybe they want to make money, their lives, no problem at all. For me, I don't really care about all that. I like to educate people about their own city. Like, and it's not like I'm saying, again, I'm not saying that I'm doing this as some kind of a charitable thing. But I think it's like, I think at least my generation of people, since we have the internet, to some extent we can learn, and I think we should learn. So among all of the content creators with millions of followers, I think at least if maybe a tiny small segment of it can actually learn something instead of just consuming content for like 10-20 seconds on a reel, I think that's enough for me. So that's why I don't put a lot of reels, by the way. I primarily only try to
share photographs.
share photographs.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
that too, whatever is posted on Insta, you just share them.
That's it.
Good. So, how many followers do you have on Insta?
So right now I have around 24.9k. So
Okay.
that's, and my other page has 15.8 or 15.9. So roughly around 40 maybe.
ఎక్సలెంట్. సో ఎప్పుడు నెంబర్ చూసుకోలేదా ఇప్పటివరకు ఎంతమంది వచ్చారు అని అట్లా?
No, I don't actually.
No?
I don't. I mean, honestly, if I was that concerned, I would have been putting a lot more effort in Instagram, but I don't. So that.
That is like becoming the typical Hyderabadi, the lazy one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not lazy because I mean I post regularly, but I only think I also post what things that I like. I don't. I try not to. How do I put this? I try not to go on the more commercial way because I don't want to also. Luckily, I have a job, so I don't have to rely on this for money. So I think that's a privilege, of course.
Right.
So that.
Excellent. One last question.
Please ask.
So, ఈ walks నుంచి what is your next step? Like, you know, your future plan?
I don't know, honestly. Like, see, I have no intention of stopping my weekend walks. Maybe if I can start something bigger, if I can train people, then it's a different matter. But I don't think I thought about it actually. I'll see. I have a brother. He does walks with me. If I can have 2-3 people more, I think that'll be a good thing. I think there should be more. Like if you could look at Delhi and Bombay, there are several people doing this, and it's not like it's a problem. It's like all of them are part of the same thing, and it all works together. I think that's what Hyderabad needs. Like we need a little bit of, like the reason I also make sure the walks happen is because I feel like the city needs something like that every week. If I stop doing these walks, I think right now I only have one friend whose team does these walks. I think, you know, if between both of us, someone wants to go here, someone wants to go there, we'll have a choice. And I think it's important because if this is not there, then again that whole thing we've built of getting people active in this way will again go down. That's why I make sure even if I'm not around, my brother will do it or somebody else will be there to like do these walks. And I think that's for me enough. Maybe after we become a little older, some other young person will take over. So naakatla em problem ledu. I'll be more than happy to train people.
Great. So it is great to know you, Yunus. I mean, నేను 4 years back start చేశాను walksకి రావటం. I'm regularly irregular, but I'm always, you know, I make sure that I attend, you know, at least a few walks a year. So I've seen how people are engaging with you, and I have made a few friends myself through your walks. You know, very vibrant people who have added value to my life. So thank you so much. You've helped a lot of people gain perspective, friends, knowledge, and whatnot.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. Shake hands.